6 p.m. Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headlines. The caretaker Prime Minister says Pakistan is determined to take its fraternal relations with China to new heights. The caretaker Information Minister has termed the implementation of legal protection to media workers as the government's responsibility. 28,600 candidates have filed nomination papers to contest the elections at national and 4 provincial assemblies constituencies. The All Parties Hurriyat Conference says India's propaganda of so-called peace in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir is meant to hide its crimes against humanity. Dozens of Palestinians were martyred in continuous Israeli bombardment on Gaza Strip today. On the first day of the second cricket test against Pakistan at Melbourne, Australia were 187 runs for the loss of 3 wickets at stumps today. And now the news in detail. The newly appointed ambassador of Pakistan to China, Khalil Hashmi, called on the caretaker Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar in Islamabad today. The Prime Minister expressed his best wishes for the ambassador Khalil Hashmi on assuming the office. Anwarul Haq Kakar said Pakistan was determined to take its fraternal relations with China to new heights. He urged the newly appointed ambassador to play an active role for strengthening Pakistan-China relations. The President, Dr. Arif Alvi, says self-sufficiency is inevitable for the progress of any country. Addressing as the chief guest on the occasion of the 35th convocation ceremony of the Pakistan Navy Engineering College at Behriya Auditorium in Karachi today, he said the world needed intellect at the moment and there was no dearth of it in Pakistan. He appreciated the efforts of the Pakistan Navy Engineering College to maintain high standards of education by providing quality engineers to the evolving industry of Pakistan. During the convocation, more than 350 graduates were awarded bachelor's and postgraduate degrees. The caretaker Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Murtaza Solanki, says the government will take all possible steps under the law against forced dismissal of journalists and media workers. Talking to media persons outside the Parliament House in Islamabad today, he said the issue of sacking of journalists by force is not acceptable. The minister said he talked to the chairman Pembra regarding the issue, and the issue would also be taken up with the chairperson of the Senate Standing Committee on Information and Broadcasting during the committee's meeting to be held on Friday. The minister said it was the government's responsibility to implement the constitutionally granted legal protection to media workers. The caretaker Minister for Information, Broadcasting and Parliamentary Affairs, Murtaza Solanki, has extended his heartfelt condolences over the demise of former Foreign Secretary Riaz Khokar. In a statement today, he also commiserated with the bereaved family. Murtaza Solanki paid rich tribute to the Foreign Secretary on his diplomatic services for the country, which will always be remembered. Riaz Khokar had represented Pakistan in leading capitals of the world, including Washington, Beijing, and New Delhi. The Federal Caretaker Religious Affairs Minister Aneek Ahmed has stressed upon the need for promoting IT education in the country amid changing dynamics. He was addressing a national conference at the University of Karachi today. He said the promotion of IT sector would bring economic stability in the country. The caretaker federal minister said all the stakeholders must play a positive role to bring peace and stability in the society. Political activities for general elections are gaining momentum, and the scrutiny of nomination papers filed by the candidates is underway, which will continue till Saturday. According to the Election Commission of Pakistan, more than 28,600 candidates have filed nomination papers to contest the elections at the national and four provincial assemblies constituencies. Out of them, around 13,800 candidates filed nomination papers from the Punjab, nearly 6,500 from Sindh, 5,200 from Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, 2,669 from Balochistan, while 358 candidates have filed nomination papers from Islamabad. Meanwhile, appeals against the acceptance or rejection of nomination papers can be submitted until the 3rd of next month, and decision on these appeals will be made by the 10th of next month. The list of candidates will be displayed on the 11th of next month, and candidates would have the option to withdraw their nomination papers by the 12th of next month. Electoral symbols will be allotted on the 13th of next month, and polling for the general elections will be held on February 8th. This is Radio Pakistan. The advisor to the Prime Minister on Aviation, retired Air Marshal Farhad Hussain Khan, has said privatization of Pakistan International Airlines is being carried out under the government's policy to privatize loss-making entities. Responding to a query during the question hour in the Senate today, he said the process of privatization of PIA was being completed in a transparent manner through open tender. The advisor said initially Pakistan International Airlines would be privatized as a flight entity, and the decision on its other properties will be made later by the Privatization Commission. He said outsourcing of some airports in the country was aimed at improving the management. Later, the House was adjourned due to lack of quorum to meet again on Friday at 10:30 in the morning. Repatriation of illegal foreign nationals, including Afghans, to their homeland is continuing in a dignified and safe manner. In addition to other measures for the dignified return of Afghans to their country, transit camps equipped with all facilities have been established in various districts for their temporary accommodation. Over 2,500 illegal Afghan nationals returned to their country during the past 2 days. So far, 448,000 illegal Afghans have been repatriated to Afghanistan. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has termed the arbitrary arrests of youth and summoning them to army camps and police stations as blatant violation of international laws. In a statement in Srinagar, APHC spokesman said India's propaganda of so-called peace in the territory is meant to hide its crimes against humanity. He said India is continuously trampling international laws by using black laws to kill, arrest and summon anyone to the Indian army camps, police stations and investigation agencies' head offices in occupied Jammu and Kashmir and India. Dozens of Palestinians, including children and women, have been martyred and several others injured in continuous Israeli bombardment on the Gaza Strip on the 81st day of the war of genocide. According to Palestine Red Crescent Society, several people have been injured after Israeli artillery shelling targeted the organization's headquarters in Khan Yunis. In Nigeria, at least 160 people have been killed in a series of attacks by militants on villages in central regions. According to the local Red Cross, more than 100 people were killed in 18 villages in the Bokos region. At least 50 people were also reportedly dead in several villages in the Barkin Ladi area. And now cricket. On the first day of the second cricket test match against Pakistan at Melbourne, Australia were 187 runs for the loss of 3 wickets at stumps today. Earlier, Pakistan won the toss and chose to field. Australia lead the 3-match series 1-0. And finally, the weather report. Mainly cold and dry weather is expected in most parts of the country, while very cold and partly cloudy conditions are likely in northern areas during the next 12 hours. Dense fog is likely to persist in the plain areas of the Punjab. Fog may also occur in the plain areas of Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and Upper Sindh during night hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website, radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/Radio Pakistan News Official.